Good morning, everyone, and welcome you all to our AABN's 221st weekly webinar. It's heartwarming to see a happy bunch of participants on a Sunday morning. Welcome to you all for responding to our call and being here. AABN began as a fledgling outfit to connect professionals on a proactive platform to exchange useful information and contacts. Also became an informal avenue to meet and listen to game changers from various domains through these interactive sessions. Thanks to the strong work fundamentals, clear goals, and wonderful camaraderie on which this network was built, we grew in leaps and bounds. It's gratifying to note that the agenda of today's webinar covers a wide range of future relevant topics, and we have in our midst a distinguished speaker to share his experience in specific area of speciality. I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Sekar Palanisamy for coming here and willing to impart his expertise to our community. The social sector plays a vital role in improving public well-being, but faces mounting challenges that hinder its effectiveness. Tasked with delivering health, education, and welfare services, it struggles with limited funding, workforce shortages, and weak infrastructure. External pressures, economic instability, migration, and environmental issues add strain, while the COVID-19 pandemic exposed deep systemic flaws and widened inequality. Though technology offers new service delivery options, digital divides worsen exclusion. NGOs and community organizations grapple with sustainability and donor dependency, while policy and governance gaps delay critical interventions. This webinar will explore these multifaceted issues and proposes collaborative forward-looking strategies to build a more resilient and inclusive social sector. Dr. Sekar Palanisamy, Chairman, LC Project Nagapatnam, will share his views and perspectives on need for social development, current challenges. I have the pleasant duty of introducing and welcoming him to this interactive business networking session. Dr. Sekar Palanisamy is the chairman of LC Project Nagapatnam, a social organization dedicated to the upliftment of marginalized communities, including persons with disabilities, Dalits, and tribal groups. Since 2006, the organization has impacted over 40,000 disabled families across the east coast of Tamil Nadu, from Chennai to Nagapatnam. Dr. Sekar holds a doctorate in international organization from Jawaharlal Nehru University. He has served as a consultant to international organizations such as Oxfam Australia and Humana People to People India. He has also held visiting associate positions at the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies, Singapore, and the Australian National University, Canberra. With over 22 years of experience in the social sector, including 14 years in leadership roles, Dr. Sheikh brings a deep expertise in organizational management, project, and emergency response. He has been actively involved in relief efforts for major disasters such as the 2004 tsunami, 2005 floods, Nisha cyclone in 2008, Chennai floods in 2015, and the COVID-19 pandemic. His core competencies include participatory social research, organizational strategy and project management, fundraising and donor engagement, documentation, communication and proposal writing, advocacy networking and lobbying, empowerment of PWDs, child rights, Dalit rights, microcredit, and environmental conservation. Before I wind up, let me once again extend a very warm welcome to all and reiterate that our AAB's doors are always open to those who might want to strengthen our work with the suggestions. I also wish to place on record a deep commitment to work tirelessly as a team to carry forward our goals in a constructive, gratifying way. We take this opportunity to thank Mr. Suresh Marisalam for his support to connect us with.
சரி ஒன்னதுலயே போடு டாக்டர் சேகர் போட்டு பேரை மாத்து பட்டன் கேட்கும்.
Sekar is mute or
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Carry on.
All right. Okay. This one of my colleagues will, Rashekar will share the screen. I have a small presentation. It's on a PowerPoint. Anyway, it can't be very elaborate one. It's a more of pointing the indicates. So I will go with how I structure my today's sharing is it's a more of personal, it's an experiential sharing about social development, especially Leonard Shisher disability. That is Leonard Shisher project. It's LC is a Leonard project, LC. Then we have a unit called Center for People's Participation. So both the organizations work, and I'll try to connect in larger context. Then I'll come to the current challenges. So how it's happening in the larger context in terms of India. So that's a way I will go about today. LC project, that is Leonard Shisher project. So LC is a Leonard Shisher. Leonard Shisher is a group captain in UK with the Royal Air Force, who was an observer pilot in Hiroshima, Nagasaki bomb, right? Nuclear bomb where he dropped. So he was the second in pilot that time. So when he reached his home after dropping the bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then only he realized that the impact of the nuclear bomb was created. That's one. The second thing is when he got a call from someone saying that one of the soldier he knew only knew him only. He's the only person he knew. So there was no other person to rehabilitate or help that particular soldier. That's the way he started this rehabilitation work for the person with a disability. He converted his home into his own house as a rehabilitation home in London. It's way back. It's 1945. So almost the end of the war. So that is the time. Then later on, this is basically an individual initiative for Mr. Leonard Shisher. Later on, then he started his second home in Liverpool. Then third home is started in Bombay. So in India, we have around 21 homes, but we all share common name of our founder, that is Leonard Shisher, and logo, but we are all independent board. So generally in India, we have around 21 homes and 2 services, what we call, that's a community-based rehabilitation. So currently LC Project Nagapatnam, the strategy is a community-based rehabilitation. So we don't hold any home for a person with a disability. All the rehabilitation work for the person with a disability based in community. So that's why it's called community-based rehabilitation. So otherwise we call CBR. So that's the way this Leonard Shisher or LCD. When Leonard Shisher was almost in the end, 1980s, he started a technical team in UK. It's called LCD, Leonard Shisher Disability. Since it's an individual initiative, it's evolved itself. There is no any formal structure. Later on, only this been done. So the LCD UK started to support throughout the world for all these organizations, sister organizations. As I said earlier, it's independent organizations sharing the logo and the name. So everywhere you'll have a Leonard Shisher home, or like, for instance, Chennai, Bombay, or Bangalore, like that in rural. So LCD UK started is a project called LC Project. That is Leonard Shisher project for tsunami victims in 2004 after tsunami hit east coast of India. Later on, when they were withdrawing the project, so it as a sustainable strategy, it handed over to local communities. In 2006, it's registered as a society in Nagapatnam. And in 2008 onwards, I became a chairperson of the society. So initially, we were focusing on more at disability tsunami victims in Nagapatnam district. Later on, what we realized is not just enough. This part of the state and the East Coast, there are very few organization focuses that time on rehabilitation for the disabled. So we slowly extended our work, like adjoining districts of Nagapatnam, Tiruvarur, then slowly, then we extended to Kadalur, present Mayiladurai. So that is then Nagapatnam districts. So we are later on we also extend to till Chennai. So from rehabilitation phase to we reached development phase, then empowerment. That is throughout the Tamil Nadu almost we were doing work. We focus. Our objective is basically empowering the person with a disability. More special for that is a 4 major area we focus. That is inclusive education, then health and rehabilitation, then our livelihood promotion. The 4th is more of campaign and what we call advocacy work, campaign and policy. That's a policy level changes we will involve in that. So more of campaign work. So these 4 areas, which is essential for any rehabilitation of the marginalized community. So that's the way LC Project Nagapatnam strategize ourselves. Till 2021, that is the pre-pandemic or during pandemic. So we also suffered like other social development organization. Our mother organization, that is LCD UK, being closed due to various reasons, especially financial conditions. So then we lost our major donor, especially LCD UK. So our organizational work has to be reduced almost nil during COVID. Then we were depending on we are depending on more of local fundraising and doing the works. So currently our focus is more on 3 districts we reduced due to fund constraint. That is Kadalur, Mayiladurai and Nagapatnam. So this is so far we have around touched 40,000 disabled families in one way or other in terms of rehabilitation or education, or providing assistive technology, that is, caliper or wheelchair or whatever the aid and appliance or what we call. So that's the way we have done that work. Apart from LC, as a person with a disability, we also have a unit called Center for People's Participation Development under LC. This CPPD, it's this banner, mainly we focus Dalits and tribes. Probably you'll be asking why Dalit and tribes. And these 2 communities are more vulnerable in the society. Probably you'll be wondering, I'm sure you are all from Annam universities. So you know that in this part of that is east coast of Tamil Nadu, we have a tribal group called Irlas. Like you must be knowing that Pichavaram, some of the pockets of Parangipetai, like some of them spread out in one Kadalur, like a place like Sangali Kuppam and things like that. So this irregular community is most marginalized, deprived of all sorts of amenities, basic amenities. In terms of housing or any other economic development, the dropouts are very high in this community because they are semi-nomads, like they don't stay in one particular place. Often they migrate for their livelihood. They're mostly involved in sugarcane cutting or brick kilns like that. So they tend to even become a bonded labor. If you see in Tamil Nadu, this one particular community high in terms of bonded labor. So all this release of bonded labors mostly happen with the irregular community. So that's why one reason we chosen that community. Of course, Dalit community, that is a 1/4 of the population still suffered in terms of any other development like economic development, be it or education or employment. So Kadalur is one of the highest concentration population of scheduled caste. So they also, that still they are landless. They depend on agriculture for their livelihood. So that's 2 reasons. These are the reasons that we have chosen these 2 communities to work on. So the Center for People's Participation Development, it's based in Chidambaram, this particular unit. It's in Manalore. I hope you know this in Bonagiri Road, Chidambaram. So we have a training center there supported by PMKVY, that is Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. We implement this program. It's a skill program for women. So far we have done around more than 2,000 women in different skills, especially what we call self-employment tailoring. That's around 2,600 women being trained last 4 years. Then around 400 women were trained in organic farming. Because natural farming or organic farming, the concept is not very familiar this part of the districts. I mean, there are pockets like Virudhachalam and other places. Now the organic farming is taking place. So we want to promote this organic farming this part. So that's the reason we were training first women. Even most of them are from agriculture background, or the other women that are involved more in like kitchen garden, or what you call it, the backyard garden, so like that. So but the concept has to be get into the society. That was our aim. So that's why we train these women in organic farming. Apart from this self-employment tailoring or organic farming, we also promote two federations, what we call in so developmental work, we call them as a federation. That is the conglomeration of, you can call it all the self-help groups, especially it's called Padiyam, which means grafting in Tamil. So this, it's the name given by women themselves. In this, all our women self-help groups in and around Chidambaram, Bonagiri and Paragipettai blocks, of course, and other blocks also there. They spread out from Chidambaram to Kurindipadi. So there are more than 70 women self groups been formed. They are the members of this federation. So the aim is to network themselves. One. Second thing is to increase the bargaining capacity of the women group. So especially in terms of bargaining with the bank or other financial institutions like that. The Padiyam, it's basically helping each other. That is the groups each other. That's the reason the name been kept. So the third also the promoting leadership among women. So that's very important, right? The participation. So that's like that. There's another federation called Avdadam. That's Avdadam is a disabled federation. So it's a people's organization both. The strategy is that once we withdraw from this area, these two organizations will take over our work. So that sustainability of the work will be ensured. So that is the strategy we have developed. The objective of this organization generally, it's one is that promoting especially women, that is women livelihood promotion, health, women's health, women's education, of course, decision making of women to ensure that decision making participation. The last is more of conservation of natural resources. And this objective only we focus our work in Kadalur, especially in the marginal communities like Irlar and Dalits. We also have evening centers for these two communities, some of the villages, to assist the government school going children for their education. Okay, so this is our brief involvement in the social development work last almost 20 years. After 2015 only we started this Dalit and tribal work there. For disabled work, we've been working 2006 onwards in the Tamil Nadu. Of course, in our experience, let me come back to, as Gopi sir introduced me, I am basically a graduate from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Probably I'm sure you must be knowing that those days it's more influenced by leftist ideology and other things. Perhaps that Malthus shaped my idea towards society. I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons, I guess. That's the way I chosen social work. It's not an accident. I joined after PhD from JNU or other places. So the social work is my choice. It's not an accident. It's not because I just joined there. So that's why I love that working with community. I love with people. So that's why we started. I've been working with like post. In fact, entire East Coast. Like I've been working with the fisher community in Gulf of Mannar in South, with a few years. Then later on, my independent work started here in Cuddalore district. So I like more Cuddalore district with two reasons. One, I started my community development in 2004 after tsunami one. Second thing is Cuddalore district itself is one of the backward districts in the country. So that's the reason. So we started our work there. Okay, we'll see this. Why today the topic is need for social development, right? Generally, if we go to social development in our part, that is our, when I say the civil society, what we call generally, I'm sure you must be heard this term called civil society organizations, CSOs. Or popularly we call NGOs, that is non-governmental organizations. It's in nature, it's registered under trust or society. There are two acts which controls these organizations because in general, government involved in all the developments. Why this CSOs? You must be wondering, right? Since early 20s, I think CSOs nature involved in apart from government involvement in the development, social development or other. So these organizations slowly came into play some of the activities. Initially, it's a more of charitable mode. In the post-independent, if you see in Tamil Nadu or any other parts of the India, all just giving away. If a person suffer for anything else, either for hunger or it's affected by some pandemic, I mean some disease or something like that. So basically just more helped in a charitable mode, right? Then this NGOs or CSOs slowly changing into from giving to developmental mode. In the 70s, if you see, but in the larger context, if you see, there are a lot of differences happening. In the 60s, civil society movements, especially civil rights movements happening in US. If you remember in 60s, like Martin Luther King's struggle in US, which triggered various social movements in the world that give you the impact. At the same time, like Vietnam War in Asia. So these are the larger incidents or whatever events, strike a lot of sticking and strategic thinkings in the world. So that's the way the NGOs nature also was changed from charitable mode to developmental approach. Then of course what we call right-based approach. That the development itself is a right. It's not that earlier we see that it's that what we call in like top to bottom approach. So as if the government will plan, then will implement, where there is no role for the people. The people are the center of the development, but we tend to forget. So that this changes, what I said, like civil rights movements or any other changes in the world, like give an impact towards looking the development as a right perspective. So that's the way our social organizations came into in the picture to play crucial role. Especially they identify where the gaps are there to fill that. So social development is it's not island. It's of course it's clubbed with other like political and economical thing, definitely. But when I say we as a civil society organization, look development or social development as a right or right based. So because development is a right, it's not that generally we call it that's civil rights, that is socio cultural and livelihood rights. There are different two types of rights. One is the civil rights, that's civil and political rights. The second is the socio cultural livelihood rights. These rights are of course approved by all over the world as way of United Nations Covenant on, that is ICCPR, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, then ICSR, that is International Covenant on Socio Cultural Economic Rights. So it's not that just speaking kind of only civil society organization are speaking about that. It's been approved and agreed by the international society through the signing of governance. I mean, India also sign a signatory of these governance. So that's why we look as this development, social development, as a right base. I mean, it's a right for the people. There are why this purpose actually, if we see the purpose of the social development, we see there are 5 capitals, what we call in sociological term or in the social work, there are 5 capitals. If you want to have a strong social development in the country, you have to strengthen these 5 capitals. So these 5 capitals are generally, it's a social capital, human capital, physical. The physical is basically infrastructure. Of course, financial capital. The last is not last. That should be the first. That's a natural capital. If you strengthen these 5 capitals, so we will have a holistic development in terms of social development. So any project or any work of the development, so it should be based on this, strengthening these 5 capitals. So that's why if you link with our work, like formation of this people's organization, when I said earlier, Padiyam, it's a conglomeration or it's a federation of women federation, that is the strengthening the social capital of these particular groups, women group, so that they'll be connected, they'll be the bargaining capacity, or they will connect each other, so that that the network will be stronger, so they will feel each other, that there are people like that. So that social capital will be strengthened, this kind of formation of the people's organization, whether it's a Padiyam or Audadam among the disabled. So that's why we focus more of social strengthening social capital. What we do for the human capital strengthen part, that is the more of in terms of skill training, we focus, we implement the PMKVY, Prime Minister Kausal Vikas Yojana, PMKVY, that is the major scheme we avail. So that is implemented throughout the India by the central government with the help of CSOs. So that we strengthen or we provide a skill around 2,000 women so far. These women all are from rural background, from marginalized. So we ensure that they are from the marginalized communities. Either we give the preference to single women, widows, or the women who belongs to Dalits and tribes, like that. So it doesn't mean that we don't focus on other castes. Yes, we do. It's not that if the deserving, the preference is like that. So that's the way we do that. So this is the we do that, strengthening that human capital. Of course, strengthen for a financial capital. We provide them linkages with the banks or other financial institutions who supports our groups for their livelihood promotion. So that's it's all these capitals are interconnected. So through promotion of livelihood, through availing financial schemes or financial loans, so we try to link with the livelihood promotion and the financial institutions. Of course, so in this, it's as I said earlier, it's all this cross-cutting, like women's education. As this education is not, it's a formal education. You educate them in terms of their livelihood or their practices, like sanitation, hygienic practices. So it's also part of the education. So we focus through trainings. It's our short-term trainings. We do that. So the health part, the health awareness. There are places we also link with the some of the hospitals and promote them at camps, like that. So all these capitals are important, are interconnected, so that you can have a holistic development. So you'll be wondering how we do this organization. That's why I put this project cycle. So I'm sure you all know that. I'm sure most of you are involved in industry. Is the almost similar pattern what industries and other do that. So there are 5 phases when we do this social development project. That is initiation, planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. So these 5 phases we do the social development projects in terms of any organizations. So that when we cross, like it depends upon the funds and budget. it will be 3 years or 5 years, whatever way we do that. After the evaluation, the gaps will be identified. Once again, the cycle starts. So those initiations, so that's why we call it a project cycle, all these 5 phases. So that's the way this organization, all the civil society, any civil society organizations or social development organizations do this project. Okay. This is in terms of micro level. Let's come back to an Indian thing. There are social indicators. I'm sure you all are aware that now India is one of 7th largest state in terms of geography. In terms of economy, we are the 4th largest. Of course, we are the first, population wise. So we have a lot of big names and everything in there. But still, if you see the UNDP report, what we call now, we have this HDI, that is Human Development Index. And this in ranking out of 193, stands 130. That is in the 2023 reports now available, and a 25 report has not come out in UNDP. So it was earlier we were 133 we stands, we improved slightly 130. This indicators, for HDI, if we see that more on in terms of school education, life expectancy, of course, per capita, that is GNP, gross national product, GNP per capita income. On that basis, this ranks are been done. Still we stands 130. And we are reading the news now. The government has declared that we will be developed country by 2047. That will be the centenary of our independence. I won't say it's an irony, but we have an ambition that we have to, everybody want to be developed, right? When we say developed, obviously we have at least imaginary ways of lavish life of everyone. It's ideal vision. I hope we'll reach that, but we have to see that critically, right? How we are, whether it's just rhetoric or it's possible to reach the achievements. So at the same time, if you see the hunger index, a global hunger index, India stands in 105 out of 127 countries. Right. The contradiction is we have of course, we all celebrate we are unity in diversity in terms of socio-cultural and religious fabric. When we come to reality, you see that we are the largest country in terms of geography, in terms of resource, whatever. We are fourth largest economy. We have one of the largest defense. Everything is large there. But if it comes to micro level or in the ground, the reality is different, right? So still we are standing in hunger index into 105. In terms of HDI 130, but we are claiming that we'll be developed in 2047. It's 32 years. Just away, there's almost 30, yeah, it's 20, I'm sorry, 22 years is away. Let's see how we are moving there. Probably we have to see these in critically. What I thought, this indicator, there are something called strategy, that is SDG, what we call it's a sustainable development goals. This sustainable development goals, I'll give you a little brief about this. In 2000, that is in the millennium year, right? Everybody knows. In New York, almost all the state heads met in the United Nations and developed. I think that is one of the important summit organized by United Nations, especially in the post-World War II. Because in 1945, United Nations was formed. Later on, that we realized almost 55 years, then because we were touching 2000, that the millennium. So they wanted to give back to the world some important things. They developed Millennium Development Goals, what we call MDG. This MDG later on converted in 2015. It was planned for 2015. Then it went to 2030. Now the target is 2030. It's called Sustainable Development Goal. So what the generally realize that if development should be sustainable, it can development happen, but we ensure that it's a sustainable development. That's why these goals, they developed around 17 goals. I put it, I think I can see that I only 8 goals there. Why I thought it's more of 8. If I go in, these same goals, or you can convert, it's become a goal because these are the challenges faced by any social development or in the country. In Indian social development also, if you fulfill these issues, then we will be rather self-sufficient, or what we call it's a developed nation. So these are the few, the 8, they converted into goal, but it's actually the issues, right? The first goal is a poverty. Now make it as a 0 poverty. Still 8. Now we are going to celebrate 79th year of independence, August 15. The poverty level, of course, it's been drastically reduced, but we have to see the parameters of below poverty line, BPL, right? We are saying that we reached, we came out of extreme poverty. I'll come back. What is this? How we become out of it? Then the second, this poverty line. Second is the hunger. The poverty, hunger. It's not the issue. The major issue, not only in India. I'm sure all over the world, like sub-Saharan countries or Latin American countries. So it's there everywhere. But India is being one of the largest. We are the largest population in the world. So we suffer in terms of poverty and hunger. Still, there are families going to bed even without 3 meals in a day. Like 2 meals, it's a more of dream for still majority of the members. The World Bank criteria, if we see that the extreme poverty is if a person earns $2.15 per day is still in a poverty line. If you earn $3.65, that is a recent international benchmark developed by the World Bank. Everybody now, we are listening to the World Bank. So it's a $3.65 per day. If you are in a low or middle level income. It's almost $6.88 per day. If you earn, you are coming out of high level income thing. So if you see that in terms of, I think in Indian context, poverty, we can't have a single definition. I mean, that's my personal experience. The person who, how we are going to derive that? Majority of the population still we are depending on agriculture. Agriculture doesn't provide 365 days employment for the population, right? Then so there is some problem in that, like when you draw basic poverty in terms of income. Second thing is, of course, hunger. This hunger is you have to link with, it's not just having a food. It's in terms of how much nutrition the one particular child is access to, right? It's not just a meal. It's a more of, I feel it's a more of nutrition part. Plus, of course, they also add with more of a mortality rate and things like that. But also it's a sustainable agriculture, right? The hunger and agriculture, whereas Indian agriculture level, I mean, the size of the agriculture land's been drastically has been reducing, which is supposed to be the primary sector. But secondary sector, of course, we are when secondary sector is expanding, obviously the primary sector is been shrinking. Still, if you all remember, we are talking about sustainable agriculture and removing hunger. Government is not coming forward to give MSP, minimum support price. Farmers are been struggling years or been went for a hunger strike, they lost their so many lives. Hundreds of farmers been lost their lives for even getting this minimum support price. I guess it's supposed to be very. It's in their part. It's very fair and just. But still, we claim that we are removing poverty and hunger drastically. So this is a contradiction. One side, the farmers are struggling for MSV. The other side, we are saying that we are, because they are the population feed entire country, but we are not ready to give the minimum support price for the farmers. I guess that will give the improvement of the majority of the society. So that should be a focus on that. The third is that it's more of health and the third goal, SDG in third, number 3, will be speaks about the quality health. Quality health, I'm sure you all know. India now the focus most of the international companies are we are making some breakthrough in terms of accessing health. Even Chennai, it's supposed to, what we call is a health capital of world, right? But we have to see in reality how much population can access the better and quality health. So see the level of hospitals or primary health centers. The recent budget, that 2025-26 budget, if you remember, we have not even strengthened our PHC. They are the primary health centers are the gate, that is easy accessible for the rural population, but still the PHCs are not strengthened. I'll tell you one sharing. During pandemic, we were doing small survey with Chidambaram Taluk and Parangipete block and Gonaveri Taluk. There were 26 PHCs. They had just one nurse. That nurse also doesn't come even 28 hours in a day. That is the level of that. It was one block. Literally, we were visiting, whether they are ready, it's ready. But so see that the rural majority population still deprived of even basic health. Forgot about quality health or super specialty medicines. So that the strengthening the PHCs. So they are the backbone of the health in the country. So I guess that the government has to focus strengthening the primary health centers in the rural area. So that should be the focus, but that lacks. Yes, the fourth is more of education. When we say education, it's a primary education. Forgot about the higher education. The primary education, of course, now we made it one of the fundamental rights of the after so many interventions. We fought in the Supreme Court. When we say we as a civil society organizations, movements, a lot of effort, a lot of campaign been done to make it because education is still in the directive principle of state policy. Then made it now it's a compulsory, universal and compulsory education. It's made after RT, right to education. It's a more of fundamental right. The thing is, this quality once again, it's a quality education. Reality, of course, there are like in Tamil Nadu now the government is coming with some certain programs to strengthen school educations. It's been happening, but still when we reach that quality level of government school going children, when you compare with some of the private schools, right? See, that is the reality. So the important what I insist, the quality education should be ensured by the government, both state government as well as the union government, to strengthen this quality education in government schools. When we say strengthen, it's not only strengthening schools. I mean, it's not just infrastructure, building a new smart class, so-called smart classrooms or buildings. Of course, that is the basic, but we have to strengthen the capacity of the teachers. The teachers should cope up with the modern development in terms of technology and science, right? The government generally lacks. I mean, once the teacher been appointed in the school, I don't think is there any program to enhance their capacities. So just think of it in the government that how they will cope up with the latest happenings in the world. So that is the focus. So that it's not just focusing on infrastructure. It should be more focused on capacity of the teachers. So then only we can ensure the quality education. So the governments both, because the education is being a subject of concurrent list in the Constitution of India, I guess state as well as the government of, Union Government of India has to focus more on strengthening the quality educations. So the dropout rate is still high in the country. Of course, when it comes to Tamil Nadu, I think it's comparatively less than other states like UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and all. But otherwise, on overall, when we say largest, country, the dropout rates has to be still reduced. So that kind of the strategies has to be developed. If you see that our investment, actually the government sees education investment. It's not an investment. It's put it in the expenditure side. See how you are seeing this education. That is very important. Is education, spending on education is not an expenditure. It's an investment, right? So that you have to ensure. But what happening now? You are reducing. Of course, slowly it's increasing. But that increase is coming not proportionate with the population or other need. It has to be increased. That's why they are increasing it, whether it's a state government or central government. But whereas the states, even sub-Saharan states, are focusing more on primary education than India. That is the reality. So that then we have to see that education expenditure is not an expenditure. It's an investment for future, so that you will build that stronger nation. So for the strong social development. So that is the of course the fifth goal, if you see, that's gender equality. I'm sure you all agree that the women constitutes the half of the population, right? It's untapped. I won't say untapped resources, but it's not tapped fully. This particular section of the society has to be involved in the developmental work, which means the women's education, the women's participation in terms of women's employment has to be improved. It started, but in the larger context, when we say entire country in India, still it's lagging. So the gender equality has to come. When we say that the due respect for the women in terms of their education, employment, and their social life, it's to be focused, which means reforms has to be done. It's not only through legislations. It has to be, of course, legislation is be there, but the mindset of the society has to be changed. For that, the government of both governments, state government and the union government, has to take, lot of initiatives. I will say that in terms of gender equality or gender sensitization, I'm sure you must be seeing that how it's happening, and nowadays that when you see the newspapers for girls who are going to attend the colleges or employment, and the violence against women been increasing. It's not reduced. When we are supposed to be modernizing or we are moving towards develop, if you reflect, this reflects where we are lacking it. So that is important. Bringing the gender equality. It's not only equality. We also see that gender sensitization among the young population. It's when we say sensitization, not among the women, it's a sensitization among the men, where we have to accept that they are part of the humanity, half population of humanity, that they contribute most, which is generally unrecognized. So that should be brought. So gender equality and gender sensitization is important in terms of social development. So that we have to address this. That is the definitely one of the most challenging thing. If you see that other like water and sanitation, of course, accessing quality of water and sanitation, another important goal. The Indian rural society faces the major issue, right? So that of course there are few schemes that have been announced. Then to implement good drinking water, that is potable drinking water. I think that issue's not been once again. If you see other way, it's not addressed completely. Still, we need to address on that water and sanitation issues. Then, of course, energy, right? Energy. We are going to more with renewable energy. There we have to concentrate, so that the renewable energy is supposed to be the future. That will be the major source. In India, still lagging behind tapping that natural, renewable energies. So that should be concentrated, or we have to see more concentration on renewable energy. That will be more sustainable, also easier. I guess it's more economical if it comes to larger volume. So that there, right? Inclusive economic growth. That is the 8th goal of the SDGs. There are other goals also there. So when it speaks about economic growth, it should be inclusive. When we say inclusive, geographically it should be inclusive. It's society, socially it should be inclusive. When we say socially, all groups of all sections of the society has to be included in developmental work, or in anything happens, it should be spread to all sections of the society, all geography, that is geographical area of the country. Then only this could be inclusive growth. So then we can feel that we can enjoy the benefit the entire development. There is a reducing inequality. That's a number 10. I have mentioned and not mentioned in the thing. That inequality goal, that is very reducing the inequality for any development. The goal that is in terms of not only in the country or state, in the world also. Let's come back to the challenges. It will be last slide, I guess. I put very few points for that. Social inequality, right? That is a major challenge in terms of social development. That social inequality, we all agree that Indian society being constructed by the caste. Whether we like it or not, the caste dominates or caste operates Indian society, in every level, right? If you see that like a major this not address completely this issue, that so that social development cannot be reached, or it cannot be happen uniformly for the entire section of the society. Still, like states like Tamil Nadu, now we witnessed self-respect movement and rationalist movement in early 50s and 40s, and probably majority of the population we have come out for educated and involved in various level of things. But if you look at other parts of the country, still the majority of the population has what we call it so-called backward. So this socially, if you see this inequality in terms of caste, the caste on the other side, the caste violence, that is the sad part, where education level has been increased, but the caste violence also increased. That is a very sad. So we have to see that whether actually the modern education given any rational or thought among the population, right? It's never eradicated. That is a sad part. like the rationalist movement or self-respect movement never eradicated the caste, first thing. That is apart from that, but the recent increase in the caste-based violence throughout the country, that is definitely it will give a setback in terms of development, whether it could be economical development or social development. I guess that it could be addressed, but generally the politicians or the leaders never touch this issue. They are not coming far because there are reasons like, vote bank politics and things like that. But let's see critically, that is a issue touched by every level that has to be addressed. So in one way or other, we have to be addressed. Then the government has to come forward and address this social inequality or this caste-based violences. So the other thing I will see, the regional disparity. Regional disparity, if you see that, the level of development is happening, whether it's industrial development on agricultural level in India, there are only happening in different regions, like states like Gujarat and Maharashtra. I mean, Maharashtra, I think, still number one in terms of industrial contribution and things like that. But whereas if you see Northeast, it's almost completely neglected last 70, 80 years. So the disparities happen. So when we make a plan or when we implement the projects by the government, so that should be done uniformly and even so that, equally, so that we have a equal development, all the regions of the country. But it's not, and in reality, it's not happening. The regional disparity. So that's the reason, if you see the, oppositions, so-called like Naxal bodies movement or separatist movements in Assam or separatist movement in Jharkhand or Madhya Pradesh. So why it's happening? It's happening. They're the rich in resources, but the actual development is not occurring in their places, right? The regional disparity is the major reason for these kind of oppositions. So we are failing to address this regional disparity. So that should be another area of focus when we do for planning or implementation of any developmental project. So that the government has to be very cautious in that. Of course, so this, this regional, so in terms of social inequality and regional disparities, then the other challenges, if you see the recent developments, I'm sure all will be reading the news and will be watching it, the increase in communal tensions. It's sad. See, these are the issues we have to be addressed, right? Educated communities like this cannot, if you're not going to talk about that, I'm sure nobody will going to speak. I think that's the reason I touched this. Whether it's a recent developments in the, especially place like Delhi and other places, and the communal tensions between the inter-religious groups or violence in the Manipur. Probably it's one state, definitely, but it's a state, right? When it affects entire growth of the state. So so it's not just we are concentrating on industrial development or we keep on getting investments, but actual this in the long run, it will affect the complete growth of the country. The communal tensions or the caste violences. So that these are the emerging challenges. Yes, the other thing is that calamities, natural calamities there. Yes, before that, I'll touch this sharing of natural wealth. If you see that in Indian, we are the rich. There is one saying, then will say India is a rich country with poor people, right? Why they say the concentration of Indian wealth is with very few percentage of the families, whereas around 20% of the percentage of the population enjoys more than 75% of the resources, whereas 80% of the population enjoys with just 25% of the resources. this concentration of resources with few percentage of the population is the major reason. India has the richest persons in the world, whereas we are 105th in hunger, global hunger index. Just think of it. We have all Ambanis and Adanis. They're supposed in the top 100 rich men list in the global level, whereas same country has the person even going to bed without 2 meals in a day or 3 meals in a day. So we have to see where we are going wrong. It's, when we hear this, we are reaching the largest economy in the world and everything is nice, but the reality is different. So if the resources or if the wealth of the countries just come with few hands, then we have to see whether it's a fair and just, right? So where it goes, this, the Indian constitution assures that, it's a equality. Equality is not just before the law. It's equality. You are equal in enjoying the resource of the country. We are equal in enjoying the rights of the country. We should be equal in every level, when social level or economic level or political level, right? So we have to see that this concentration of resources and wealth, the same level is the gap. The top CEOs of the income and the lowest labor, the level of the gap. So we have to see that how there's so much the gaps, the 1,000 times, the gaps between the wages, the earning. So that should be addressed. Otherwise, we are not going to get the just or fair development. Natural calamities, why I put it, actually, everything is nice when it comes to development. It's economical and social development. In the recent days, there are a lot of disasters, especially natural disasters. There are man-made disasters happening, yes, definitely. But how far as a state, and as a country, we are ready to face these natural calamities? One instance, last 1 year, it's almost 1,900 incidents happen, Uttarakhand state alone. One state. It could be small and bigger level. There are incidents, many incidents in natural calamities. And so natural calamities not necessary. It's affecting only one entire state. Even it's a smaller level of micro level affect the economy of the smaller group. I'll tell you for one instance, like if one major rain hits suddenly city like Chennai, right? If it hits over 2 or 3 days, just think of the small vendors or street vendors. They are losing their entire livelihood. If it consecutively 3 to 5 days of just rain, we are not ready to face. So how much loss when you calculate in my memory. But there is no any backup like plan or whatever, this kind of thing for the even small micro level disaster, or if it's a major level disaster. We do try to develop some plans and things like that, but it's not enough to tackle the forthcoming natural disaster. Certainly, we need to concentrate this, what we call climate change issues or climate crisis, because this issues is not just confined to only India. It's of course affect entire globe. If anything happens in globe, we also been affected. But this managing the micro level disaster will reduce the vulnerability of the marginalized communities. So that's very important. As a country or as a state, we are still not ready to face this, or we are not even realize the potentiality of the climate change issues, what we are going to face in future. So if not going to address this, so these are the different issues, or these are the major challenges before us in terms of social development or economic development. I'm sure as a responsible citizens. I think unless we are going to speak out loudly, our people in the administration, whether in the state or in the central governments, so it's not going to listen that. I'm sure people like you, and I say you, that educated and responsible citizens, let's see, we respond from our side so that we'll bring equitable, if not equitable state, at least equitable society where everybody enjoys the benefit of the development. No, that we have to ensure addressing these issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, sir. Suresh, sir, go on, sir.
You can open the floor. So
Yeah, we can open the floor for question and answers now. Yeah, participants, may please unmute and ask your questions, please. Vanjinan, sir.
Gopi sir, if you can allow me to share the capitals he was talking about, I can show that capitals.
Sure, sir, sure, sir. Please, please.
Rakshakar, you can close the share.
Yeah, Rajshekhar is operating. I'm sure he will close it.
Yeah, just tell him to close it so that I can show the capitals, so which we are talking about. Yeah. So this is a capital he was talking about. You can see here. Now this is a vulnerability context. So here the livelihood is there. The livelihood is strong. So these are the 5 capitals. One is human capital, natural capital, financial capital, social capital, and physical capital. The human capital is the human resource. Natural is the forest, the mountains, the rivers, all the natural resources. Financial, which we generate, the revenue we generate. And physical is infrastructure, the roads, hospitals, schools, and and social. Yeah. One second. Yeah. The social and political is the government and the policy which we follow.
Why 2 sales? 2 piece are clear land. 2.
Go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Yeah. So these are the 5 capitals. To explain better way. Now this is a 5-degree scale. So each one can be measured. If one is affected, the other one will get affected. So if it is equal of all 5 together, all 5 capitals, then the country will have the best prosperity. In case of, say, for example, here the social and political is little weak. So naturally, it will have an impact on other capital sectors or earning the finance or something like that. So by measuring by 5 scale parameters, we can check where each capital is placed, and accordingly the policy matters can be discussed and it can be introduced. That's what he was talking about. So this is the base. So likelihood, there are 2 things. One is generating the revenue by promoting the livelihood among all, and Dr. Sekar is working exclusively to work with disabled persons with disability, and promote the livelihood options so that the productivity can be increased, number 1. Number 2, to reduce the loss by being prepared to face the disasters where the loss, economic and human loss, can be reduced. These are 2 things was highlighting. One is directly generating using the capitals and using the resources to increase each capital. Number two is by using preparedness techniques and mitigation techniques. So the economic loss can be controlled so that the financial and human capital and physical infrastructure, that is the economic loss, can be controlled. So both ways, one is by increasing and by mitigating. So these are the two ways he was highlighting in his development sector. Yeah. So the PPT is visible. Sir Gopi sir, the PPT is visible.
Visible, sir. Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is the crux of the development concept I was talking about. This generally was telling, particularly he is working for the capacity and potential of persons with disabilities have to be tapped down so that they also will not be left out, and the equal share of their development activities can also be shared, and their rights also can be protected. So that's the crux of the entire presentation. Am I right, Dr. Sekar?
Yes. It's not only PW, other marginalized like Dalits and tribes also.
That's right. Thank you. So the request I am placing, this is the only organization I am representing, since Dr. Sekar being a good guide for me in many of my developmental activities, especially in the disaster assessment. I learned a lot of things from Dr. Sekar during Cyclone Thane, and the techniques he is using to introduce the latest things. For example, he has developed a keyboard for the visually challenged, and the artificial limbs he has designed with the support of his partners, and the rights-based requirements have been placed to the government, not only for PWDs, as he rightly pointed out, for marginalized, especially for Irulas, who have been completely neglected from the community development in Chidambaram side. And being you're all from Annamala University alumni, you all very well know the situation from Kadalur to Nagapatnam. A lot of underdeveloped areas are there, and your support, maybe you can directly, if you have the chance of supporting the organization, you can do that. Or if you have the contacts, you can link Sekar's organization so that they can go and talk to them and find some sources where they can support. Especially Dr. Sekar, you can talk about this virtual livelihood VLRC. So that will be a noble idea or a good idea he has developed, which is very successful. So that you can do, or you can identify the channels where you can apply and get some support. Could be a financial or human or whatever maybe, so that we can strengthen his hands to submit his best for the potential of the marginalized and the PWDs. Thank you. VLRC could, if you could.
Okay. Yeah. I hope it's okay. VLRC is a concept we developed. It's called Virtual Livelihood Resource Center. As I said, our office, we have an office at Kadalur. There is a one, it's called Disability Resource Center, or we call LRC, that is Livelihood Resource Center. See, for when it comes to PWDs, the livelihood is the major issue. Probably even you can educate some of the, disabled people, right? Getting education in any institution is not an issue. Once finish your education, then the challenge comes. How you are going to lead your life. Like, it's not just education is going to fetch your life for income, right? Ultimately, everybody as a human being that we have to earn for our livings. So this livelihood become an issue. So we have this livelihood resource center where people will be connected. What we call them, assess their quality, capacity in terms of education, or what we lack there, for instance, if they lack any soft skill like computer, or even some of there are graduates who cannot speak English, right? where you need this kind of. So these kind of gaps being identified, and we link them, like, give them support in the training center. Sometimes in our own center, or if necessary, we link them with other places, training institutes or training centers, to improve their skills. That's the way this. Then assess them. Then we'll go and place them. We'll identify according to their qualification. We place them various companies, like we have a collaboration with companies like Amazon. We have collaborated with Reliance. Then we also identify some of the new sectors for disabled, like hospitality sector, one of the new sector we opened 5-6 years back. Like hotels like Lemon Tree accommodated many of our candidates, whether in Chennai or Delhi. If you see that Lemon Tree, one of the hospitals. Then Intercontinental. These are the new sectors for disabled, definitely hospitality sector, and whether it's a hotel sectors, then of course we also collaborate with the Reliance. So then Flextronics, like that. There are companies we place them. Then we also place them. It's not only graduated, like school people who have completed their schoolings. We do them into according to their interest and accessibility part. So that is the like retail shops in Kadalur, Chidambaram, and nearby towns. Those kind of textile shops or supermarket. If they have just finished schooling and they do that, so that also we ensure that they are placed there. What we do before, we also do employer sensitization. It's very important that employers should know how to handle disabled. So because retaining these disabled people is one of the challenge. There are various reasons. One reason is the accessibility part. When we say accessibility, if the office or companies situated in a top, like a first floor or second floor, so then you need a lift to travel. So if you make it small changes, then second thing is toilet, accessible toilet. So because these reasons, the most of the disabled people come out, they won't retain. The returns will be high, so they will come out of their jobs. So locally, what we have done, some of the even like big textiles, and when we place some of the textiles, what we found out, then no accessible toilet. We ourselves help them to know. We can't ask the employer to just construct. They might think that it is a more expenditure. Already that is a society view, right? You are first placing them, but you are still want to make it and things like that. So we make it a model. So what we construct that particular building accessible toilet, but we can't afford for lift or something. But this kind of ramp, and like we have done it with the General Post Office in Kadalur, and like Puduchetharam hospital, make it a ramp and things like that. Accessible. Pundiangupam higher secondary schools, that is more toilet and things like that. In Nagapatnam also, some of the schools, like accessible library, accessible toilet, accessible building ramps, like we make it a model so that others will do that. So that's the way we do this VLRC. That's, LRC. VLRC concept is a virtual livelihood resource center. So that we have a 24/7 number. So where the PWD can contact us to access information regarding anything, in the sense employment or education, scholarships, like, what are the institutions available, what are the employment opportunities available, what are the bank linkages, like loans or schemes are available, whatever things they need. They will contact our coordinators through phone. That's 24/7, which operates more in cloud technology, cloud-based technology. Then we'll take it or note down, our staff's team will note down the need of the particular candidate. Then in case if they need any GO or something, we'll get a physical copy. We'll send it by courier. We also send it by mail. We also will guide them constantly. It's a kind of counseling or guiding them through by online, so that anyone anywhere from the state we can access us. Any reference of the treatment of which hospitals are available. So we collect the data, like all in our computer, all kind of the maximum data. It will be keep on updated, so that any information which need for the PWDs, that been done. Actually, the unintended part, you know what? In 2015, you all know that the major cyclone and flood happened in Tamil Nadu, especially. Chennai was major affected, Kadalur also. So this number being morely converted, more of helpline, you know, where people being affected, this is a particular village we affected and things. So we could reach them. We also connect them with district administration. So help these particular people like that. So it's unintended, but it happened. So like that. So VLRC, but now our donor stopped our funding. So currently VLRC is not taking place because we have to pay amount for this cloud-based technology. That is important. So that's a reason. But we did it successfully for 3-4 years. We were expecting that government will take over this particular concept. The government now, the right base up, there's so-called project, the rights project. If the government is implementing with PWD, it's a completely LC, that is LC's project. The word, every term's been used. So that's so luckily this livelihood center, they are established some of the places in Tamil Nadu. So that's all done. So hope they will do that, but they are not doing it. So we are looking for some support for implementing this VLRC so we can cater to larger community. So that's a thing.
Vardhini ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you,
Vardhini
Dr.
ma'am.
So we are placing a request that AABN is looking for some kind of activity-based program. Then you can think about. I mean, even I'm planning to have some like-minded NGOs and forums to join hands so that we can identify the sources where we can give our support to Dr. Sekar. So we'll think about it. So you can also share your ideas.
Vardhini ma'am. Vardhini has joined us from Madurai. She also runs an NGO. Vardhini ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go on, ma'am.
Actually,
Yeah.
thank you for inviting me, and it was a real eye-opening session kind of a thing for how inclusive the development initiatives can be, and I think I have to get into more detail. So I don't think I have anything to ask or to share now. It was a real good session. I was listening.
But ma'am, Dr. Sekar is basically from Madurai. So in case if you want any consultation, you can invite him to his office so we can have a detailed discussion how to take it.
Sure. Actually, ours is a very grassroots level organization, and we work directly with children. And with the, it's like in 2002 we started it like Illam Thedi Kalviyoda they concept, the same concept of that. And actually we started it in 2002. Maybe they are replicating our theme. And we are doing it after school program and one-to-one support. And hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Where are you placed in Madurai?
Nagamale Pudukkottai.
Oh.
On the way to university, MK University.
Yeah.
It's Thirupparankunram law.
Mm-hmm.
And what he says is really challenging questions of social inequality, caste, and then the quality of education, and very serious issues that he has pondered into. And these are the questions for a long time. We are also looking for answers and doing some little bit of initiatives and interventions. And it needs a lot of policy level changes, no?
Yeah. And we experimented some of things, especially in the disaster affected areas, because that was all of a sudden it made a change in the life of the people who are victims, and then we could test some parameters. So it worked out how to approach with the district administration and what kind of advocacy we have to do.
I worked with the Vedaranyam block with the farmers in the tsunami area in 2005.
Okay. So that is what we have some parameters which we learned and then we documented also. The things what you are talking about is a sustaining problem. You know, every time when you put it over there.
And gender questions came very blatantly in that time in disaster management.
Yeah.
And we could sense that like equal wage for equal work was a real big challenge for us in the
Right.
agricultural sector.
That's right. 2002 to 2008, we are talking about only disasters. Now it is common to everyone because
Yeah.
climate is a major problem.
Climate change has become a major disaster for
So the
all.
disaster is going to be a common thing in everywhere. So we have to do. So in fact, we are planning to have a session exclusively for the disabled with the SRM University, with the support of the sign language experts, to make them to understand, because we found many of the PWDs suffered during the disasters. All of a sudden, unexpected rains and floods and all that.
Yeah.
So every time when we find some kind of problem in the society, then we should find out an alternative solution, and then we should plan it and then implement it. That's what Dr. Sekar always talks about. And to a certain extent, we are further going on, but we are struggling with the funds. And whatever available funds, we are trying to work it out with the known sources. So we are placing a request to the members through AABN. So whatever way we can work out, we can think about. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can ask a question.
Please go on, so.
Sir, it's a very big puzzle I have, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am a professor in College of Engineering, Guindy, a professor of practice, but I also a consultant for many companies.
Yes, sir.
We are offering room plus
Yes.
750 rupees per day for 8 hours duty. So
Yes.
typically they'll at least do 2 to 3 hours more work, so they can earn up to 1,000 rupees per day
Yes, sir.
with place to stay. But we are not getting anybody. We are bringing people all the way from UP, Orissa.
Yes.
And if we increase the wage, actually the absenteeism goes up. The difference is people
Yes.
from UP or Jharkhand, or they are saying give us more OT. Even on Independence Day, Sunday we will work. Whereas our people, our supervisors had to beg them to complete even that 20 days work also, they are not coming.
Okay.
You told $6.78 is high income. We are paying double of that, but we are still not getting anybody. Nobody wants to work.
Actually, it's an international benchmark developed by World Bank. That's what it's a more compared with African and Latin American states than us.
Okay.
So it's but when we, that's what there are issues when it comes to this GDP, and they like this kind of when I said poverty reduction things, they keep it there. What they'll say, we have a certain benchmarks here, then we also consider national things, national principles and policies, and accordingly we are doing it. But that is I picked up from one of the World Bank reports. So that's
my question is, as we are trying to help, we want to give local, because our people are quite intelligent. So we want, whereas these UP people work mindlessly. So we want to empower them. We want, but the problem is they don't want. Actually, we are finding it very difficult to get local people to work.
Dr. Sekar,
yes,
the point is, local people are not taking it very seriously, whereas the people from migrated population,
migrated community,
they're from, so they don't have any other work, so they're ready to work more than the stipulated time, but the quality is not up to the mark. That's what his point the professor is talking about.
Yeah, that's right, sir. But actually, if you see that the same Indian population which migrates to Singapore or in West, Dubai or somewhere, but the same Indian population, they consider it's more of hard work.
No, sir, even that they don't want. I know, even I'm talking of engineering boys. They say, sir, we want to be near family. We give them, this fellow can earn 1 lakh rupee per month. They don't want to go. They are very happy. They are saying 20,000 is enough for us. We are very happy. We are again and again, even Middle East. I just now sent 5-6 people. They are all from again UP and Bengal and all that. Our people are not interested to work. And in fact, some ladies are telling that, sir, if we join you, you will expect us to finish the job. We want to take leave. We will come and work whenever we want. See, no industry can run if they tell whenever we want, we will come and work.
Yeah.
So this is there's a cultural issue. I am noticing even among my classmates. After retirement, they don't want to work. They want to sit at home. This is actually, I think there's a cultural issue behind it.
Yes.
John Goodfellow, the finder of lithium battery, he got his Nobel Prize when he
Yes,
was
sir.
98 years old, and they asked him, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" He said, "Tomorrow I'm going to the laboratory." At 99, also they want to go to laboratory work.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they are waiting. It's like a disease. Job is like a disease. Even I'm talking of PhDs. My own roommate, he is saying,
Yes.
"Ayyo, don't, I want to take rest."
Yeah.
So there's a cultural issue here.
I understand.
Culturally, we think we have become a society where hard work is anathema. People think working hard is bad, doing nothing is great. So that is percolating at all levels. Worse in women. The more educated the woman, earlier they are taking retirement. If you see early morning flights in USA, 50% men, 50% women will be traveling. Here, if you take an early morning flight, you will hardly see 5% will be women. So it's a cultural issue. The people are very happy. I think, see, there's a happiness index. We have to consider that also. Maybe people are very, very happy, doing nothing. Like, maybe that is why we worship sages and munis and all that, doing nothing, just sitting, closing eyes and praying is considered virtue. Maybe our society is, edifying such people. And I think that has percolated to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, what you said, it's a social, it's a culture, that is the culture. But it might change. Let's see. I don't know.
I don't think so. Actually, with more automation, people will do even less.
Okay.
I mean, this is my observation, sir, because and even my own class, I tell, if I give you a B+, will you attend class? They say we will not attend. They don't want knowledge. We are talking the toppers in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
I have asked them this question. Suppose I give all of you B+, will you attend class? No, sir, we will not attend. We have not come here to have knowledge. We want marks, job, minimum. We want to enjoy life. And FIRE, that is the latest. Financially independent, retire early.
Oh.
My boys are telling me that is what our goal is. So we have a society like that. I think you have to give some marks for that also in your presentation.
There's an anthropological factor. You have to accept it. That's right.
Do you think so, sir? Suresh, sir?
Yeah, you're right. There's an anthropological factor. So, including myself, sometimes you think about what I'm getting is over. I'm happy with my family and taking it over rather earning more. Whereas North Indian guys, they are ready to work double the time because they are lagging behind the income, and they say this is a big amount. For them, it is a big livelihood. But the quality-wise, if you look at it, it will be very poor. What to do? That's you have to compromise over it. That's happening everywhere. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Right. Maybe the more technology, they how much they require, they use it and then they leave it. They are not completely taking it as a full thing to go to the next level. So if I'm getting 20,000, that's enough for me. That's right. This is the mindset in Manipur also I have seen over there. So they have wonderful fruit gardens, and many of this fruit industry involved in making juice. This closed for 6 months. When I checked with them, they say when they have money and they won't come for work, they'll go around. So the factories are closed. And when they want money, they'll come down. Otherwise, most of the airlines companies are behind the Manipur industries for this fruit juices, real fruit juices. But the industry is not blooming up because of this kind of nature, what you are pointing out. So when I have 20,000-30,000 rupees in my hand, I want to enjoy. I will not come to work. I'll go around. And once it is exhausted, then I'll think about taking up a job. And many other industries, I've seen most of the juice extracting industries in Manipur and around, they are closed. It's a real factor. That's right.
Thank you, sir.
So Dr. Sekar, how to handle this kind of situation when the resources available you are talking about? Yeah, the human resources available, but opportunities available. but it's not been properly linked or used.
No, but what he said, it's a cultural issue. I think it's linked with, it could be different factors, I guess. Probably we are, as a developmental person, but I think it's like agriculture sectors like that. I think their people are still hardworking. Then I think the so-called educated, or white collar jobs. This kind of tendency is coming out. Probably people are more looking into more of easy money than hard-earned money, I guess. It's a change of, it's the societal value. It's rapidly changing. Probably that we have to see in different levels. See that.
The hardest working, because I have traveled all over the world and worked.
Yes.
Most Western people, I mean, I'm talking of Europeans, I work with them, Americans, they are karma yogis. They will work, without any supervision, they will work that 8 hours, I mean, very sincerely, they will not, think. But the Far East people, I'm talking of from Singapore, Japan, Korea, they will work very hard. For them, if 8 hours is the duty, they will work 12 hours. That is voluntarily, I mean, without expecting it. But
that's a culturally planted practice. So now, see, for 2 years they have to work in the military. They obey, and then they in the military and take it up, and then find a better job. So a discipline is being planted in the individual citizens' day-to-day life character. Whereas here, that kind of commitments are not there. The moment when they complete their degree, they think they have. Always they say, "I have completed." So there is a difference is there. We cannot say completed. What is a completion? There is no completion for education. So there is life till the end of the life. We'll be learning, and the opportunities are there. So this is what the difference. Rightly pointed out, Professor. Thank you. But we have to work on it. But anyway, we keep generating the opportunities for those at least out of 10. If 2 people can get benefit out of it, it's
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Sure. Great.
Divya, would you like to add a few words? Johnny, Ravina? I think there's no other question, I think.
Okay, fine.
I think we are done, sir. So
Okay,
thank you very much, Dr. Sekar, for taking the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it's
us.
really nice. It's my pleasure have an interaction with you people. Thank you so much.